Do you guys have anything to share from your day, your week, any lesson, any impression, any realization since the last time? Last time we talked about serenity, inner peace. Remember anything about that?
Serenity is the inner awareness that originates from the truth within oneself.
Okay.
Serenity, what is it? Angry? Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You know what? I'm jealous because your section 1, I go back and listen to section 1.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you go a lot slower. You write out every words for them. But this section, you did like, like you didn't write down. So I look back and said,
Well, you have the recording. That's what the recording is for. You can slow down the recording and you can, copy it, write down every word.
Yeah, but some of the word I don't even know how to spell.
Okay. Any question about any word that you want me to
but in
spell for you?
section 1, you spell it out for them. You write out everything.
Oh, okay. But my handwriting is pretty terrible.
No, but at least,
Okay.
I guess, yeah, I can guess. So actually, I would listen to section 1, wisdom. So you were saying the difference between the level 1 awareness is and the wisdom 1 is the awareness is the proactive, right?
No.
No,
Awareness is automatic. Yeah,
right.
just automatic, no right or wrong, good or bad, should or should not.
Right, but then you were saying the level 1 is like you react to something that happens, but wisdom 1, you plan ahead.
You proactively choose.
You choose the environment before you enter. Before you enter. So so you explain very good in detail. Like if you are in a good spousal relationship, always have like think like the principle of life, always look at the good thing that the other people do, even though he did 10 bad things, but that one good thing. So you said focus on that good thing and magnifies it. So that's the difference between awareness, level 1 awareness, and wisdom 1. See, it's I'm more when I listen to it, it's clear to me. But I mean, like, it's like, oh, why you didn't do that? with this section.
Wait, when you say section, you mean the season, or you mean
season? I'm sorry.
Okay. So season 2, you say I didn't make that clear. Okay.
No, you didn't write down. I mean, it's
like okay.
English is English is out. Maybe you came here when you were little, right, or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you're like your brain instantly go from back and forth. If in my field I go like that, I'm excellent at my field, I go like that instantly. Like I translate, I speak Vietnamese to the Vietnamese patient, and then one of my technicians asked me a question in English, I turn around and answer in English instantly, just like that.
Yeah.
But with this new materials, it takes a second.
You have to translate in your head. Okay.
I need time for my brain to process. And if I get stuck in the definition of one word, then I lost the whole lecture.
Okay, you can ask me to slow down. Okay, you can go ahead and ask me to slow down. You can ask me to define it in Vietnamese if you need to. Okay.
I did try some of it. Yeah, but so now I just have time to listen to level 1 with awareness and wisdom.
Okay.
Okay, and the awareness level 2 and wisdom 2, it's just like everything, the root cause of life is begins with me, so I don't blame anybody, right? I don't blame myself.
Correct.
Right. So so in other words, wisdom level 2, I actively create a positive mental images.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then for level 3, is the state of emptiness. So anyone can become anything. Is that right?
Yeah. If we are nothing,
Right,
then
right.
the potential, and if we are no one, then we have the potential to become anyone.
Right, right. So
if we're already stuck with being someone, then we cannot become anyone else.
So another thing is like we always have to apply the principle of light, right? So
that's principle of light is everywhere.
Everywhere, right?
Every level of awareness, every perception, every candle that we light up has to do with principle of light.
Okay.
Right.
So I remember you taught me how to have a positive picture image about my nephew.
Yeah.
So that's the wisdom level 3, isn't it?
No.
No. So it's just the awareness.
So depends on you. I can't tell you what level what you're in. You kind of know it yourself. Okay. So level 1 awareness is just good and bad. Right and wrong. Should or should not. Okay. If you choose to look at your nephew and focus on the good, then you are using level 1 wisdom, using principle of light in level 1 wisdom. You are looking at the positive aspect. If you raise yourself to level 2, then you stop blaming your nephew or anyone else for anything that they do. You take responsibility for creating positive image about that person. You can go, once you have that level, oh, root cause of life begin with me. I'm the master of my own fate. I am the owner. Then you can lower yourself down to level 1. You can pick and choose what to, how to look at another person. You can create positive mental images. Okay, that is still principle of light. You're still looking in the positive. You're still creating positivity. You don't listen. You pay. You monitor what you hear and what you see, and then you proactively create by controlling what you say and what you know. The kind of thing that comes out of our mouth begin to be positive and light. Okay, so with level 2 awareness and wisdom, we have an understanding, we have an awareness and a perception. And once we have the perception, in order to turn it into real, tangible behavioral act, we have to go back down to level 1 to pick and choose and do the things that are good, do the thing that we should. Same thing with level 3. Level 3 awareness begins with sort of the state of emptiness. All things are inherently empty of meaning. If any event comes in, if any information that we receive, instead of letting it go through our layer of emotion and our mind, we just go straight to our inner being and it becomes empty. And then we have to lower ourselves down to level 1 or level 2 to if we want to behave, if we want to affect any kind of change, right? We can't just stay at level 3 all day long. If we stay at level 3 at emptiness, then we do nothing and we create no value for people. It is wisdom is having to be able to rotate and cycle through level 1, level 2, level 3. A person who has a lot of blessing and virtue will find themselves being at peace, being at the emptiness more often than not. For those of us who have not accumulated enough virtue and blessing through our positive action for other people, we may have to use effort to bring ourselves to something that is close to emptiness. We use the wrath of true seeing and true hearing. right? That is just a tool for us to practice to get closer to that state of emptiness. And once we achieve that state of emptiness, once we are no longer being burdened or weighed down by the weight of positive and negative polarity of our personality and our ego, then we can lower ourselves to level 2, take ownership of our life, take ownership of our situation, and then lower down to level 1, pick and choose which action to take. Right? Wisdom is having to do with being able to rotate and cycle through different levels of awareness.
Okay. So are we still at wisdom, or are we done?
We are at wisdom, but let me see.
But serenity is a part of the.
It is part of wisdom, but it is also part of attitude.
Attitude.
Exactly. So let me see if I can. I'll just kind of sort of redraw the kind of picture that we are working on. First of all, I'm very grateful for you, all of you guys taking the time to come back to this sharing. Okay. Thank you, Chị Lâm, again, Chị Dung. Lovely to see your beautiful faces. Oh, man, you guys are giving me the gift of your presence, the gift of your appearance. And if you speak up, the gift of your speech. Thank you, Đoàn Tin. I acknowledge you. Okay, you go ahead and listen. Like before, it's a tradition. I always like to generate the purpose of our sharing. Okay, so we like to begin our sharing with a clear purpose in mind. Okay, the purpose of our sharing is to expand our inner awareness, okay, and perception.
Who is this lady?
We are trying to expand our awareness and perception. Okay, what for? In order to create health and happiness. Okay, our purpose that we do every Wednesday or Thursday in Vietnam is to expand our inner awareness and perception. Awareness and perception about ourselves, about other people, ultimately in order to create health and happiness. Okay, so if health and happiness is the destination or the outcome that we want, right? If health and happiness is the outcome, then we have to ask, okay, what are the kind of causes that will bring us the outcome of health and happiness? And so we work on the law of causality, or cause and effect. And the formula for causality and cause and effect when it comes to a human experience is, okay, good seed. So if you're going to plant a seed and you want the fruit, right? Good fruit. So we want a good fruit of health and happiness, and we're going to have to plant a good seed. At the same time, when it comes to human experience, there is something called affinity, people. Okay, if we're just by ourselves, then that's fine. We can just work on ourselves. What is a good seed within ourselves that would bring us the kind of good fruit that we want in our life? But our lives seem to be connected to other people. And so affinity is our connection with people, our attraction with people. So the formula is that if you have a good seed and we put it into, we work on our positive affinity with people, we're going to reap the good fruit. Okay, and the fruit here is health and happiness, right? Health and happiness. Okay, and we went through several frame of reference. We went through the scientific perspective. see, where's my pen? Green. No, green today. Green. Okay, I like green. We went through the scientific perspective. That's the science. The scientific perspective gives us the root cause formula. Okay, root cause formula. What does the root cause formula say? It says that positive mental images will bring about positive result. Okay, so we basically say good images equal good outcome, right? And if we want to change our life, all we got to do is change the image. Okay, change the image. Change image. Change life. Right? A person who has an issue with illnesses, when you ask them about their health, what they're usually going to say is a bunch of images about the diseases, right? How sick they are. And how sick a person is usually corresponding to how much they know about their own illnesses. But a person who knows a lot about being healthy, if they what they hear, what they see, what they know, and what they say is healthy, then they're gonna have the reality of health. Okay, that's a scientific perspective. It gives us the root cause formula. It gives us good images. It gives us changing our images will change our life. Now, we also looked upon the, I'm gonna rewrite this because it is taking up too much space, okay? So let's rewrite this for a little bit more compact. Smaller triangle. Okay. Make it smaller triangle so we have more space for writing. Okay. So this is good seed. Okay. This we're gonna say desired outcome or fruit. And this is our positive, just going to shorten it, positive affinity with people. Okay. And we have the, oh, by the way, we use the triangle of reality because everything in this universe, this world, has a physical, what we call it, the physicality or physical manifestation. Physicality. All right, just like lead and gold. We talk about lead and gold. Lead and gold has different physical manifestation. It is because deep inside it, there is an energy component specific to lead that gives lead its look, specific to gold that gives its gold its look. And deep inside that, there is the information. So a person of health and happy, it's going to manifest, has a physical manifestation of health and happiness, and they're going to have an energy that reflects health and happiness, and they're going to have the kind of information inside them that give rise to the energy and the physical manifestation of health and happiness. And then we look at the, health and happiness. We look at the root cause within a person from those perspectives. So we have the science perspective, okay? We have the religion. And we're going to say religion belief. And we're looking at the common sense perspective. Okay. And we already mentioned that inside the the science perspective, we have the root cause formula. Okay, root cause formula, it gives us mental images. That is a reference system, okay, from a scientific perspective. And then we look from the religious perspective, we have the human construct. Notice that in the human construct, we talk a lot about energy, right? It also corresponds with energy, right? We have the 16 personality. It fluctuates between positive and negative energy. Our body, our 4-element body, earth, fire, air, water, it fluctuates between positive and negative energy. So it falls within the energy corner of the reality triangle. In the human construct, we also talk about people, right? Our interaction with people. That's why it corresponds with the affinity aspect of the reality triangle. If we want to make our life better, we've got to work on raising our own awareness, raising our energy level. At the same time, we raise our affinity with other people. And how do we do that? Through grace and merit, right? Grace are the positive energy that attract good fortune. Merit is a positive intellectual energy that raises our awareness and understanding and wisdom. Of course, there's the bad deed, there's the bad stuff that we do other people. In a religious context, if we borrow the Christianity word, then it is sin, right? The bad thing that we do people, that's called sin. But we're not gonna, we want to try to eliminate as much of the sin as possible and just try to focus on the grace and merit, right? Remember, in the human construct, we talk about vibrational energy frequency. A person who is able to perceive and feel and know of positive things in life is a person who vibrates at an energy frequency that is positive. If we are experiencing negative in life, undesirable circumstances, poor health, for example, okay, broken relationship, then it means that we are at a vibrational energy frequency with poor health and broken relationship. It all has to do with energy. It all has to do with vibrational frequency, okay? We talk about the operational principle of the subconscious mind. We have the seed of affinity with other people. We have the seed of knowledge, and we have the fruit in our garden of subconscious. In terms of the seed of affinity with people, whenever we think of a person, if we think of them with positive thoughts and feelings, then we are going to grow that seed into a positive tree, and then that tree is going to bear positive fruit. And so our relationship with other people will ultimately become a positive, desirable relationship. But if we plant a negative seed whenever we think of another person, our seed of affinity with another person, and we think of it in terms of negativity, then our gardener, Mr. Will, remember, what's the will? We have the will to see, we have the will to hear, the will to know, and the will to speak. When we plant, when we condition, when we cultivate that seed with negativity, every time we think about a person, it goes negative, then we're going to get more negativity. It's going to bear fruit in terms of undesirable circumstances in life. Okay, so that is the human construct. That is the energy aspect of a human being. Okay, it is the our relationship and affinity with other people. And then we look at the common sense perspective. Okay, the information within us. The information within us is called source concept. Okay, source concept. Source concept is made up of what we know, what we believe, and what we understand. Okay, What we know, what we believe, and what we understand. When mentioning anything, what we know, what we believe about that thing, what we understand about it, represent the information within us about it, represent our source concept about it, and ultimately it represents our reality of that thing. Right? When mentioning health and happiness, what do we know about health and happiness? What do we believe about health and happiness? What do we understand about health and happiness? That represents our information, that represents our source concept, and ultimately it represents our reality of health and happiness. So a person who knows information, good, favorable source concept about being healthy, it's going to understand and believe in a positive way about health and happiness, then they're going to have a reality of health and happiness. Okay. If a person, on the other hand, contains all the negative information, unfavorable source concept about health and happiness, then their life is going to have the kind of result that is undesirable when it comes to health and happiness, because they have an unfavorable source concept. Okay, so those are the basic foundational principles and tools and system of reference that we need to grasp before we actually start to light up the house of our inner being. Okay, so once we have those when we have those tools, those basic reference, we'll begin to light up the first candle, which is wisdom. Okay, let me see if I still have that triangle. If not, then I can redraw it. Okay. So when we light up the candle of wisdom, we also use the same reality triangle. There's an information corner, there's an energy, and there's a physicality to wisdom. We went through different levels of awareness, level 1, level 2, level 3. There are actually 5 levels. I will talk about level 4 and 5 after I go over the energy aspect. But we already went over to level 1, 2, and 3. Level 3 also correspond to an energy level that we call serenity, inner peace. Today, we're going to go back and talk about magnanimity. And that's the main topic of today's discussion is going to be magnanimity. And turns out magnanimity is going to be corresponding to level 2 awareness and wisdom. Okay, so let's talk about magnanimity today. Okay.
So what's serenity? Serenity belong to level 1?
Level 3, that was last week.
Oh, okay. Serenity is level 3.
Yeah. Okay. How do you get to serenity? Remember the raft? We borrow the raft of true seeing and true hearing. And the longer we wait for the raft to reach this other shore, the shore of serenity and inner peace, then we will experience that as we'll have it as a state of emptiness of being. There we go. Okay,
okay.
Right, serenity and inner peace. So there's a raft of hearing and seeing. We hop on the raft, we wait that space while we wait. So instead of letting our emotion, our ego, our mind take over, why we go crazy or we become angry or we become reactive, we just kind of welcomely receive it and we wait. And that waiting time is emptiness of being. It is a state of being. Okay, so that's just a review. Level 3, it corresponds to serenity. That is the energy of serenity. And let me just draw another angle. The energy of wisdom, it turns out to be attitude. Okay. Yeah, remember this house? So as we begin to raise our awareness and wisdom, we begin to also light up the candle of attitude. It takes wisdom to have a good attitude. Okay. With attitude, we have We already talked about, let's use different. We already talked about serenity. Okay. Today, we're going to talk about magnanimity. And then next week, we will talk about honoring gratitude. Okay. And yeah. Okay. And did you notice this also kind of correspond to the three corner of a triangle in such a way, information. With serenity, we talk about, different an understanding of emptiness. It's very conceptual. With magnanimity, we'll talk about feelings and emotion and human nature. I remember human construct talks about energy. And when we all have the information and energy, it will make it very simple for us to have the kind of physicality that is very physical that we can manifest in form of honoring gratitude. Okay, so that's enough about attitude. Did you get a chance to write that down? So today we're going to focus on magnanimity. Okay, so big word. Okay, big word. Okay. Magnanimity is a state of being. It's a state of being magnanimous. So the noun version in the English language, magnanimous. Okay, magnanimous. This is an English word that has its root in Latin. There's two parts to it. The word magna means big, great. When you try to magnify something, you make it big. When somebody is magnificent, that is a great person. So the root of the word magnanimous is great, big, okay? And then there is the animus part, animus. The Latin word for animus, animus. The Latin word for animus is spirit. Okay, so magnanimity means great spirit. A person of magnanimity or a magnanimous person is a person of great spirit. Okay, if you look up the dictionary would say that the person who is magnanimous is somebody who is generous, okay, and forgiving. Easy to forgive, easily forgiving. Magnanimous is a person of great spirit, a person of spirit whose spirit is so great that they can encompass everybody and everything. Okay, the Vietnamese word for that is bao dung. Okay, bao means to hold, to contain, or in the literal word for bao means a bag. Okay, a bag. It is a container. Dung is volume, dung lượng. So a person of bao dung is a person who has a great volume, who can encompass and embrace everybody and everything. Okay, remember there was a 7 great gift of life that we talked about, the 7 great gift. Nhan nhãn ngôn tâm phòng thân tọa. Phòng, phòng thí. Phòng thí is magnanimity. In English, it is the gift of your spirit. Right? You have the gift of your appearance, your gift of your eyes, your seeing. You have the gift of your speech, your speaking, kind words. You have the gift of your heart, which is honoring gratitude, a heart of gratitude. And we have the gift of our spirit. It comes from that. It is the gift of our spirit, our great spirit, a spirit so big and so generous, we can encompass and hold all people and all things. Okay, so that's just a sort of a dictionary definition of magnanimous and magnanimity. Okay, so next time when we try to magnify something, yeah, you're trying to make it big. Somebody, when you see some event or you enjoy something, say, oh, that is magnificent. That is so great. Okay, big, great, generous, easier to forgive. Okay, so let's go into the more of a philosophy of group education kind of explanation of magnanimity. Okay. So let's check my note. Okay, so we'll go, I'll write the word magnanimous again. Magnanimity. Okay. Let's consider the following progression as we progress toward magnanimity. Because remember, in the definition, there's a word forgiveness. Consider the word forgive. Let's use, do I want to use forgive or forgiveness? Let's use forgiveness. Okay, let's use forgiveness. Okay. Consider the word mercy. Consider the word tolerance. Okay, and then there's a progression that goes from forgiveness to mercy to tolerance to magnanimity. So let's start with forgiveness. Okay. Imagine we're going to borrow this cup. Okay. This cup. Okay. We're going to pretend that this cup contains the fault or the wrongdoing that other people has committed against us. Okay. Somebody does something wrong. And let's call it 10 points worth of fault. Okay. 10 points worth of offense that someone has committed, and it is in this cup. A person who is forgiving, a person of forgiveness, will first drink the entire cup. All 10 points worth of another person's fault, we take it in ourselves. We drink all 10 points worth of fault. Over time, however, the offense somehow feels less severe, right? Let's say it gets reduced down to 7 or 6. And then we say, okay, I forgive you. Okay. A person of forgiveness will take in all 10 points worth of another person's fault. Over time, the severity gets reduced and we let it go. We say, we forgive. But if the other person were to repeat the same offense, guess what? We take up all 10 points, we drink that 10 point worth of offense again, right?
Yeah,
What
we
if,
forgive, but
yeah, yeah. And what if the other person does it again and again and again? Oh, that gets a little harder and harder to be forgiving if somebody keep on making the same offense, right? So by definition, you know, a person, we can forgive, but there's a saying, I can forgive, but I can't forget. I can forgive now, but I'm not going to forget what you've done. In fact, if you do it again, I'm not going to forgive you anymore. Okay?
Right.
That's the idea. Imagine this is poison. In fact, you know, a person, if we don't forgive, you know, when somebody does something that is offensive to us, we often get angry. We get resentful. We want revenge. And it kind of stays, because we have taken all 10 points, that negativity stays inside us. It can, you know, start to hurt us. Over time, usually through time, right? Time, people say time, time and distance. It can get reduced and it be a little bit more simple to let it go. If not for other person, then just for ourselves, okay? We say for ourselves, when we forgive another person, we let it go, okay? So let's move on to mercy. Mercy, it's like somebody committing a fault, 10 points worth of fault. However, there's something about us, whether our personality or our ego or the way we think or the way we perceive our awareness, for whatever reason, we don't drink all 10 cups. We only take in about 6 or 7. A merciful person take in only about 6 or 7 when another person commit a fault. And over time, that 6 or 7 gets faded down to maybe, I don't know, let's say 4 or 5. And it becomes more easy for us to let it go. A person who's merciful find it more easy to forgive, more easy to let it go. Okay? Because of somehow their personality. Remember the human construct? We have the desire and imagination. Somehow the way that a person of mercy, the personality, maybe they have a lot of grace and blessings and merit and virtue, so they find it more easily forgivable, more easily forgiving. Okay. Before I move on, well, okay, I'll just say quickly in terms of the progression. Tolerance, okay, tolerance, it's like a person, somebody commit a 10-point worth of fault. And because of our nature, we only take in 4 or 5. Only about half. Somebody commit 10-point worth of fault, we only take in about 4 or 5. And over time, that severity gets reduced down to maybe 1 or 2. Okay? And it may even get down to 0. And so forgiving and letting it go is very simple for a person of tolerance. Okay, a person of tolerance, when somebody else commit 10 points worth of fault, we only take about half of it, 4 or 5. Over time, it gets reduced down to 1 or 2, sometimes even 0. Okay, so a tolerant person is pretty nice person to be, right? Better than being merciful, having to forgive, and better than being forgiving. Magnanimity is somebody commit 10 points worth of fault, we don't drink it at all. A person of magnanimity, or a magnanimous person, upon being offended by another person, won't take in the cup. And so because you didn't take in any negativity, there's no need to resolve any issue. No need to let it go, no need to forgive. Okay, just you can kind of see the progression where I'm getting. Okay, but we're going to go back. We're going to make the distinction, an important distinction between forgiveness and mercy. Well, first of all, we understand the idea of the need to forgive, right? It is a virtue. Okay, it is a great, wonderful virtue. In fact, if you're a Christian, you will know that in the Bible, somebody asked Jesus Christ, is it true that I should forgive somebody 7 times? So I guess in his culture, you have to forgive somebody at least 7 times, right? Well, Jesus said, no, 7 times is not enough. You have to forgive them 70 times 7 times. Okay, so forgive many, many, many times. At least according to the Christian tradition, you have to forgive many times because it is a virtue. However, in life, when a person commits something against us and we take in all 10, then we're already hurting ourselves. Right? It is like taking in poison and expecting the other person to die of poison. Think about that. If we don't forgive other people, right? Do we find anybody here find that we are the resentment, it makes us negative, right? In terms of the human construct, we have the positive and negative energy. Resentment and blame are a very negative energy. And if we keep on maintaining the negative energy within us will correspond to undesirable circumstances. We're going to continue to receive more undesirable things in life. And so by not forgiving, all we're doing is we're hurting ourselves. Right? And then a person of forgiveness, with forgiveness, there's still that attachment to the other person's fault. Every time somebody commits something, we still take in 10 points. We hope that through time it gets reduced and then we would finally let go. But if the person don't stop the act of offense and repeat it, then at some point we stop. We don't forgive anymore. Okay, mercy, a little bit more forgiving, but a little bit different. So let me read to you the definition of forgiveness that I found. Okay, this is an important definition. This part is where it's different from the WIT teachings. Okay, so any of you here are studying the Nội Tâm in Vietnamese and you're trying to get the English translation, be careful. Not everything I say here will be a direct translation. If you have any question, let me know. Okay, in fact, the progression of the sort of the process of sharing the idea is a little bit different than the process of sharing this idea in Vietnamese. Okay, in Vietnamese they don't go into details about forgiveness and mercy, but I feel that it's important. So forgiveness is defined as the intentional act of releasing feelings of resentment or anger towards someone who has wronged you. Okay, it is the intentional act of releasing feelings of resentment or anger towards someone who has wronged you. It involves letting go of the desire for revenge and choosing to pardon the offender, even if they do not apologize or deserve it. Okay? It involves letting go of the desire for revenge and choosing to pardon the offender, even if they do not apologize or deserve it. So let me just kind of summarize that in another piece of paper.
So if I compare the level, so the tolerance, so the forgiveness is a higher level than mercy and tolerance. I thought.
The way we're talking about here is in terms of an energy level.
Right.
Forgiveness, you take in all the negativity, and then you have to let go. You take in the energy, you take in the negativity, the offense, and then you will let go.
You let go.
You let go however much you want. Okay, that's the idea, is that you initially take in the offense into yourself. And then you, by forgiving, the act of forgiving as defined by this definition. Okay, so let me just write that. And you see the progression once I explain it. So okay, forgiveness is releasing resentment. Okay, releasing the resentment or anger towards someone who has wronged you. Okay, because before we forgive somebody offend us, we already take in all that negativity. We become resentful, we become angry. If we don't forgive, over time, it tend to hurt us, bring harm to us. So forgiveness is releasing of resentment or anger towards somebody. It let go of the desire for revenge. Okay, and so we pardon, we forgive the other person, whether they apologize or not. Sometimes they'll go and come and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Sometimes the person the act of offense has been committed in the past. The person goes away, we never see them again. But if we still maintain that resentment and anger, then we're harming ourselves. Why do you notice that? People who maintain a lot of resentment and anger, they experience stress and a lot of negativity. They can get sick. Usually stomach issue. Also.
So when you're talking about, let's use a scale from 1 to 10. So forgiveness, you take in, or
before you forgiving, you take in all 10.
Right, and then you
over time, over time, it's usually time.
Right.
Your personality, it gets reduced to maybe 6 or 7. And then at some point you said, enough is enough. I don't want to be resentful anymore. You finally let go. But you've already taken the damage.
Right.
You've already taken the damage. You finally let go in order to save yourself. I'm going to save ourselves.
Yeah, but you don't forget, right? You forgive, but you don't forget.
Yeah, forgive but okay. That's that forgiveness. That's a different issue. I'm just saying that word, right? You can forget if you want to. If you forget, then there's no need to forgive. But the simple idea of forgiveness is a releasing of resentment in order to save ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. The longer we don't forgive, the longer we're going to experience that pain, that anger, that resentment, and oftentimes it'll manifest in some physical illnesses, usually stomach ulcer. Okay. Now we move on. So when it comes to forgiveness, the recipient is typically the person who has caused the offense or hurt you. Okay, it extends the grace and understanding to that other person, whether that person acknowledge the wrongdoing or seek forgiveness. They may not apologize for it, right? The act of offense may have happened a long time ago. The person may go away, or they may even die. They don't need to apologize it. But as long as we don't forgive, as long as we maintain that sense of resentment and blame, we're hurting ourselves. So ultimately, we forgive in order to release the resentment and save ourselves. Okay. So with the next one is mercy. Mercy is a little bit different. Okay. Mercy, on the other hand, is an expression of compassion and leniency towards someone else who has committed a wrongdoing or who is in a vulnerable position. So mercy is an expression of compassion and leniency towards somebody who committed a wrongdoing or who is in a vulnerable position. It entails showing kindness and refraining from administering punishment, even when it may be justified. Okay, that second part is important. It's refrain punishment. repaying punishment to others. Okay, so let's take our children, for example. Okay, our children, we love them, we care for them. They may commit a fault. They may do something so bad that is deserving of punishment. But if that punishment is an equal value to the fault, oh, then that child is going to get hurt really, really bad. And so because we are merciful, we forgive more easily, or we reduce the punishment. When a criminal commit a crime and it goes to court and the court hands down judgment, let's say a person commit murder, kill somebody, and the law say that if you kill somebody, then you would receive the capital punishment, right? You will die yourself. You will be punished by death. So, but punishing a person by death won't give them the opportunity to change or anything like that. So the law can show mercy, reduce the sentence to, let's say, a life in jail. You see the difference? This one, forgiveness, we save ourselves from the pain of resentment and blame, from the negativity. Because the longer we maintain negativity, the more we're going to attract negativity into our life. Forgiveness is just to save ourselves. Mercy, on the other hand, is an act of compassion. It is directed toward the other person. We're actually saving them. Okay, so let's say this is saving this. Save the offender. That's the difference. To forgive is to save ourselves. To be merciful is to save the other person. That's why it is in the Christian religion that they say that God is merciful. Because if God was to be easily angry, then God can punish, mankind, and the punishment that we deserve, it's going to wipe us out because we are so bad. Okay. Mercy.
So, excuse me. So the forgiveness in Vietnamese mean
tha thứ,
right?
yeah.
And so mercy, what does that mean?
Vị tha. Okay, so this two definition is in Vietnamese we rarely ever use the word vị tha, but it's from the Zen Buddhism tradition. Okay.
So tha thứ for forgiveness is higher than
there's no higher, and it has to do. You remember this forgiveness is that you take, remember this one, you take in 10. Okay, time reduced to, let's say, 6 or 7, and then you let go. Okay, with mercy, a person who is merciful find it more easy. They don't take in 10, they only take in, let's say, 6 or 7. With time, it go down to 4 or 5. Okay, then they can let go. That's in terms of a personal feeling or experience. Okay, this is human life and experience. A person who is merciful find it more easy to let go, and therefore find it more easy to be forgiving. If you're a parent who is merciful, our children will find us to be more forgiving, because we only take in 6 or 7 worth of the fault. We don't see it as that severe. Okay, and the special difference between forgiveness and mercy is that when you are merciful, we are helping the other person. We are thinking about the other person. We are reducing their pain and suffering from the punishment. Obviously, we also save ourselves too. So it does have a degree of forgiveness in it. You can say, I forgive you. I mean, we just save ourselves, and at the same time, we save the offender from the punishment. You see the main distinction between mercy and forgiveness?
Yeah, a little bit, still a little bit confused.
Okay.
It's like tangling.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not black and white, right? It's not that.
What's not black and white?
You know, like, so tha thứ, forgiveness, that means like it's like a verb, right? Like, okay, I forgive you.
Mm-hmm.
So you are the so I am the subject, and mercy, what? Mercy is what? Vị tha.
You said
So the merciful person
is more forgiving.
more forgiven, right? It's like they don't look at they don't take in a lot of offense, right?
That's easy to forgive, yes.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So is it more black and white now?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the the intent of forgiveness is to relieve ourselves from the burden of carrying that negative emotions and anger, right? Whereas the intent of mercy is to help the other person not be punished so bad. Because if you think about it, okay, if we punish the other person very severely, here's what happens. If remember the human construct, when we cause another person to go negative, what do? We also deposit a negative seed in our bad fortune account. So mercy helps the other person, but also help ourselves as well. Right? If we make the other person, if we punish the other person so severely that they become negative, then we have just created some negativity for ourselves as well. So either way you look at it, you're kind of saving ourselves. But this one, you think about the other person. With mercy, we're thinking about the other person, and a person who's merciful by the grace of their being, okay, they just have that kind of positivity and enough positivity, enough grace, enough intellectual merit that they find it not so hard to take in less offense, and it become more easy to forgive, more easy to let go.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions about the difference between forgiveness and mercy? There is this progression, whereas forgiveness, yes, we should forgive. It is a virtue, right? Religion talks about it. But with forgiveness, every time you forgive, that is every time we have been already hurt by it. But a person who being merciful finds it easy to forgive. So they are not actually, as hurt by the offense as a person who simply find the need to forgive again and again. But even so, even this, there's still attachment, right? If the person keep committing that offense, if the criminal keep committing the same crime, I think there's a law in the United States that if you keep committing the same crime, your punishment will go up. You can be lenient, you can be merciful once or twice, but if you keep on repeating, then no more forgiveness, right? No more mercy. Okay. All right. Ready to move on to tolerance? Okay, let's talk about the person tolerant. A little bit different. Okay, there's a progression. Okay, there's a progression, but there's also a difference in terms of concept. So a person of tolerance is, somebody committed 10 points worth of fault, okay, by their virtue of their personality, by the grace of their being, they only see that to be 4 or 5 worth of offense. They only take in 4 or 5. So that's half. The person can commit some really bad offense, but we don't feel like it's that big of a deal. We only take in about half of it, 4 or 5. And over time, that severity sometimes gets reduced to 1 or 2. maybe even 0. We don't even need to forgive. Okay, a tolerant person takes in only about half of the point of the offense.
So tolerant person, you swallow your pride?
It's not about swallowing our pride. Okay, it's not about swallowing our pride.
Oh.
Swallowing our pride, when we
You-
say those expressions, swallowing pride, it's pretty negative. You're not expressing pride, but you're swallowing something that's poisonous. You can still, harm yourself. Okay, oftentimes, when people say swallowing our pride, they're talking about the repression. That's not tolerant. That is repressing. That is suppressing.
Okay, to suppress it.
Then you're pressing, yeah. Okay. Think of it like a balloon. They will kind of like bubbles of illusion. Remember the human construct?
Right.
Right. They're the bubbles of illusion. These are the emotion.
Right.
Right. A person of, when we first experience an offense, our bubble of illusion gets really big. Our anger, right, called the anger. Over time, that balloon kind of deflates. Okay, it becomes more easy to let go. Swallowing your pride is squeezing the balloon. You're trying to squeeze the balloon. It's smaller, but pressure, so sometimes it might even explode.
Right.
Right. So we don't really want that kind of negativity inside us, being pressure, being squeezed like that, because at some point it could explode and we could really get hurt. Okay, so we're talking about how to let go. Okay, we already talked about serenity, but we'll get back to it. But a person of tolerant, okay, by virtue of their grace, their positivity, or the way they think, the way they see, the way they hear, the way they speak, the way they know, somehow allow them to take in only half of the offense. And over time, that bubbles get deflated, sometimes to almost nothing. Okay, and it's easy for them to discard it. And so I'm going to read to you the definition of tolerance. And this is a big, powerful definition. And okay, let's do this like this. Okay, so we're gonna write the word magnanimity again. Magnanimity. And with tolerance, okay, remember the triangle of reality? We have the physicality, the energy, and there's the information. Okay, with tolerance, I'm going to put it in the physicality corner. It's a little bit different from the Vietnamese sharing, so don't try to translate the two. Okay, with tolerance, I'm going to put it in the physicality of magnanimity. And the following is a definition that have been extracted from UNESCO, which is a United Nations, some organization that work, for world peace. Let me see what the definition of what does UNESCO stand for. United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. Okay, UNESCO, United Nations Education, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. UNESCO has a big document called a Declaration on Tolerance. Okay, it's a big document with many, many words, and the following have been extracted from it. Okay, what I'm reading to you is not a direct, you can't find the actual wording in the declaration, but this is an extraction from it. And the WIT organization, they translate it into Vietnamese using this extract. Okay, it is not a direct you can't quote it from the UNESCO, but it is the essence of the big document that is called the Declaration on Tolerance. Tolerance is defined as respecting and understanding the difference of others. Okay, it's respecting and understanding the differences of others in custom, life, belief, worldview, religion, race, genders, and ways of being and acting. Okay, I'll say it again. Tolerance is respecting and understanding the differences of others in custom, life beliefs, worldview, religions, race, genders, and ways of being. Ways of being and acting. Okay. Nowadays, with a lot of controversy over gender, so we make sure to include the word gender in there. Okay. I think the WIT definition does not have the word gender in there. But so once again, tolerance is respecting and understanding. Okay, so this is the part that is respecting. Respect. Okay, understanding. Okay, respecting and understanding the differences in others, the differences of others in custom, life beliefs, worldview, religions, race, genders, and ways of being and acting. Next part. Tolerance is accepting that others may do things that one does not agree with. Accepting that others may do things that one does not agree with. Okay? So there's acceptance in here. ACCE, acceptance. Okay, accepting that others may do things that one does not agree with within certain limit. Within certain limit, in order to guide them toward positive self-development. Okay, accepting that others may do things that one does not agree with within certain limits in order to guide them toward positive self-development. Okay, so that last part is pretty important. Several key. We accept the person. Their ways of worldview may be different. Their ways of speaking and acting and behaving may be different. Their custom, the life belief, the race, the religion, the gender, they may be different. We accept them. However, there are limits, okay, within certain limits. What for? In order to guide them toward positive self-development. So sometimes our children, they may misbehave. Okay, sometimes our children, they may misbehave. As soon as we realize that they misbehave, that's what level of awareness is that? When we see our children, level 1, yeah. But we can raise our level to level 2. Root cause of life begin with me. We create new positive mental images. We allow them to be, themselves, and we guide them toward positive self-development. Okay, that's a powerful statement. We accept others, we accept that others may do things differently or things that we do not agree with. We may not agree with what they're doing, but we allow it within certain limit. Okay, there is not unlimited tolerance. Within certain limit, in order to guide them toward positive self-development. This is where the level 2 wisdom come in. Okay, it is no longer about right or wrong. It's about I'm creating a better reality for myself and for that other person. Okay, so can you see how a person of being tolerant can be, let's say, a very effective employer, right? If all you do all day long, if an employee, if you're a supervisor or a manager or a boss, and all day long, and you just go and you look for the thing that people do wrong and you punish them for it, you're not going to grow the organization very easily. But sometimes we allow other people certain ways of behaving if we know how to create positivity and we guide them to doing the better, to doing better things. Right? That is the definition of tolerance as offered to us by the WIT and offered to us by the UNESCO. Okay. WIT uses the UNESCO definition to define bao dung. Okay, but here I am putting bao dung as a little lower than magnanimity because I'm elevating the idea of magnanimity as something that is much, much greater. Okay, so let's talk about the energy aspect of magnanimity. Okay, once again, in the energy component of reality, we borrow from the human construct. We borrow from the energy structure of human being. Okay, positive, negative. Here we are operating in the circle of the emotion and the mind. Okay, this is all about the human nature. This is not a part of our true nature. Our true nature, our inner being, the energy of serenity, that is level 3 wisdom. Level 2 and level 1 is within the this one. Okay. So this is a human construct. These are different versions. Okay. So this is a human construct. We are operating in this circle and this circle. Okay. This is the human nature. Okay, and the emotion as well. We're not operating in this one. That is level 3 wisdom. That is serenity. Okay. When it comes to magnanimity, the energy, it's level 2. Level 2, it's operating inside the human nature. So in terms of energy, magnanimity is defined as an inner state of being. Okay, it's an inner being. It's a state of inner being, or an inner state of being where desire and ideation stops. Desire and ideation stop. Okay, comes to a stop. This is I. Okay, ideation stop. So human construct, right? We have the basic needs for resources, appearance, identity, sustenance, comfort. We have desire, anger, ignorance, pride, skepticism, ethic, and judgment. The central focus of human construct is desire and ideation. It is our desire and ideation about resources, about appearances, about identity, sustenance, and comfort that will give rise to our personality, our ego, our thinking mind. Okay? And when our desire and ideation is not being met, we tend to activate anger and resentment and blame. Right? So the energy of magnanimity is when desire and ideation stop. Think about, let's say we are on the way home from work. Okay, we've just gone through a long day of work. We're coming home and our desire is for food. We start to have ideation. We start to have imagination about the food, the dinner. And if we are, let's say, a spouse who has a spouse or have a family member who usually cook dinner, right? We would be coming home, we're driving, and we are thinking about the dinner. and we come home and we see no dinner. At that moment, usually we get a little bit angry. We get a little bit resentful, right? And depending on where we are along the progression, are we the kind of person who is easily forgivable? Are we merciful? Are we tolerant? Or are we magnanimous? If we're a person who is not merciful, not tolerant, we may feel the need to forgive another person. First of all, our desire and ideation is not met. Right? Maybe we'd be angry. Some people can be angry for a long time, but holding on to that anger doesn't help. So we're forced to forgive our spouse or our family member, whoever who is supposed to cook that dinner. If we are a person of merciful nature, we can find it easy to forgive. If we're tolerant, okay, then we'll forgive more often and we allow it to happen. But if we are a person of magnanimity, if we are magnanimous, then instantly we can stop our desire and ideation, and we are no longer attached to it. Did you get that part? If we are not at that moment when we come home and there's no food on the table, and we realize that, oh, it is my desire for food, and all my ideation and imagination about food has been going on in my head, and there's no food, instead of being angry, instead of being resentful, we simply stop. And so there's no need to forgive anybody. A person of magnanimity, when somebody commit a fault, we don't take in any. So there's no need to forgiveness. That's an important point. Okay, a person of magnanimity is a person that upon experience some undesired circumstances, sees their desires and ideation, and they are no longer attached to it. And therefore they feel no suffering, therefore they feel no need to forgive. So when a person asks Jesus, should I forgive somebody who offended me 7 times? Jesus said, no, you have to forgive them 7 times 77 times. That means that person has already taken other people's fault 7 times 70 times. That's many times that we have taken in the negativity. That's called pain and suffering. But if we can activate the energy of magnanimity, we instantly stop the desire and ideation about whatever it is. Then we don't take in any negativity. There's no need to forgive. You're on mute. Marianne, did you want to say something?
I forgot. Okay, so magnanimity. I can't say that.
Magnanimous may be easier to say.
Yeah, magnanimous. So you are describing like a living saint, isn't it?
I'm not saying anything about saying. I'm just saying, do we want to take the poison? How many times we want to take the poison?
Yeah, we know it's poison, but we still take it, you know.
To think about our family member, our co-worker, anybody who has offended us. Okay, every time they offend you and you take their poison, you're angry, you're resentful, that poison goes to work in destroying our mind and our body.
So in other words, you lower your expectation. You don't expect anything from anywhere, any person, right?
I didn't say anything about lowering expectation.
Yeah, lower the expectation, right?
I didn't say anything about lowering any expectation.
You didn't say that?
So I didn't say. I just said desire and ideation stops.
Right. So it's like so you come home and there's no dinner. right? So
at
in
that
your
moment,
mind, right, in my mind, I said, okay, I come home, I expect, food on the table, right?
yeah,
That's my expectation.
okay.
But now, being magnanimous, I can just go home and think, okay, if there's food on the table, great. I will have serenity. No, what is it?
That's a
Trân trọng cảm ơn. I don't know. Right?
gratitude. Yeah, you can switch. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have the gratitude, right? Right. But if there's no food, then you will accept that there's no food, and you understand that okay, my spouse might be something happen at the last minute, that that my spouse is busy, or whatever, that didn't cook the meal, right? So you use the
Yeah, you switch. Yeah, you switch
understanding.
from, you stop the idea, you stop the expectation. You can switch over to understanding, acceptance. You can switch over to tolerance and respect, and achieve a state of being magnanimous.
Right. So later on, when your spouse came home, instead of like giving them like a angry look, like right, you would say, oh, where have you been, or something like that, right? Like like be nice, be kind, right? Because you understand that something happened at the last minute. That's why they couldn't cook.
Yeah.
Or maybe they don't feel well, so they don't want to cook. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So what is about information about magnanimity? What information?
The information corner that give rise to everything else in terms for magnanimity is simply unattached. It's a state, it's an inner state of being unattached.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Unattached to any happenings inside the mind or out there in the external circumstance. Unattached to anything happening inside the mind or anything outside in the external circumstance. Okay? If you are unattached to the dinner, you may have the desire and ideation for dinner. That's fine. Right? As we're driving home, we're hungry, we think about food. It's okay to have the desire and ideation about it, but we're not attached to it. So the moment when we don't see, dinner, our ideation and our desire stops. And then it becomes easier to be tolerating and respectful and understanding and accepting of that circumstance or of that person. It begins with a state of being unattached.
Okay.
Okay. And you actually mentioned the word serenity. Okay. So you actually have the seed within you. You actually have level 3 awareness. If magnanimity comes from level 3 awareness and serenity, that's a lot better than coming from something that is lower. Okay, and definitely better than repression. If we can achieve a state of serenity, then we don't even see a fault. That's the difference between serenity and magnanimity. Magnanimity, you see a fault. You don't take it. No, thank you. With serenity, you don't see fault at all. That is emptiness of being. That is our true self. Okay, when somebody does something and we don't even see that as a fault, that is level 3 wisdom, emptiness of being. That is serenity. We are at peace. We are totally unburdened by the personality, by the judgment. But if we cannot achieve the state of serenity, it requires a lot of grace and merit, and it requires a lot of a high, super high level of energy. I don't think I have experienced that myself. Then at least we can tap into level 2 wisdom and awareness. As soon as we realize that somebody creates something, we did something, we may see that as a fault, we raise that to level 2, stop our ideation and our desire. So it is the cycling through of creating a certain desire that helps us move forward. Okay, we always want, in order to achieve our goal in life, we have to create desire and ideation. We have to create desire and we start to think about it. Ideation is thinking about it. Health and happiness. Okay, we create the desire for health, we create the desire for happiness. We create the desire for having a healthy body, a healthy mind, a healthy relationship. We have our we use our level 2 wisdom to create mental positive images about it. But as soon as we experience a circumstance that does not satisfy our desire, don't let it go negative. We just stop. Let it go for a moment, and then later on you can come back to it. Okay.
So you are not unattached to save my, yeah, I want to unattach so that I can save my insanity.
Yeah. Yeah, you save yourself. Okay. Giving, we can start by forgiving ourselves. Okay, let me tell you a story. Okay, let me tell you a story, and it's an important story. So there's this young lady, this woman, who has a mysterious illness. Okay, has a mysterious illness that every night she goes to sleep and she has this dream, somewhat of a nightmare. And chị Lam, did you want to say something before I tell the story? You want to ask a question or share something before I tell the story? Go ahead.
Yes. I just wonders how the way to stop desire and ideation. Can you recap or can you give some ways to stop this, or to be in magnanimity?
How to stop desire and ideation? Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we try to use level 3? You can try level 3.
Or how about one word meditation?
That
Stop, drop, seize, and
There we
release.
go. Yeah. See, she's good. Good student.
Meditation.
You remember. Okay. Stop, drop. Okay.
Stop, drop.
Seize it or release it. There you go. One word meditation.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Desire and release. Yeah. Stop, drop, seize, and release.
Stop, drop, seize, and release.
But if that doesn't work, you can go back to the lesson on level 3 wisdom. We realize that I'm hearing and I'm seeing. We realize that, oh, I have these desires and ideation. Just kind of observe it, kind of notice it. Notice the hearing, notice the seeing. Notice the saying, notice the knowing. So at that moment, when we come home and we don't see dinner, and our minds start to think, right? We start to thinking, why isn't there dinner? What happened to my spouse? All that, then you start to notice. Okay, so let's just do that one. It's a simple technique. Notice. Notice the
hearing.
Notice the
seeing.
Notice what you're saying.
Speaking.
Yeah, saying or speaking.
Saying, speaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Notice the knowing too, but that's a little weird. Okay, then that's We're not there yet. Okay, but this too is easy. Simple. Just know that, oh, okay, I have this, I'm saying these things, I'm hearing these things, I'm seeing these things. That's it. That's all I know. And as you notice it, that's what you're doing. You're getting on the graph of true seeing and true hearing. And the longer we notice, the longer we will experience that space of emptiness. We will reach the shore of serenity, and it will become more easy to let it go, to stop it. Okay.
Vietnamese, we have we say that hy vọng nhiều, thất vọng nhiều. So we don't
Hy vọng
we
nhiều,
don't need
thất
to
vọng
hope.
nhiều.
We don't need to hope and we don't
What
expect
level of
something.
what level of wisdom or awareness are you using when you say that? Hy vọng nhiều, what level? Hope a lot, despair a lot. What level is that?
Level 1.
Yeah, level 1. Let's see if we can raise you to level 2.
Yeah.
With level 2 awareness, root cause of life begin with me. So whether a dinner is on the table or not, root cause of life begin with me. And I don't need to blame other people. Get it?
Yeah.
If we can get that the root cause of life begin with me, then whether the food is on the table or not has nothing to do with other people. See, our desire and ideation often comes from other people. We expect things about other people. But root cause of life begins with me. Oh, okay. Food on the table or not doesn't mean anything, because I'm unattached. And I can simply drop the desire and ideation. Why we don't need to blame anymore. Okay, because if we start blaming, then we fall down to below level 1. Or level 1 awareness. Okay, with pain and suffering. So let me tell you the story. Okay.
Yeah.
So the story of this lady, she has a strange illness that where every night she goes to sleep and she would see this house, a broken down house, almost ready to collapse. Okay, broken down house already collapsed. And when she looks inside the house, you see all these people suffering. And at the same time, her health was declining. Okay, she was getting sick every day. She was getting sicker and sicker every day. And every night she would see the dream of the house also breaking down and, about to break, collapsing. And so one day she went to look for a sage, or a teacher. And she asked, this is a wise Zen master. Okay, she looked for a Zen master. And she asked them, I have this illness, a mysterious illness that I keep on getting weaker every day. I don't know why I'm getting weaker every day. And not only that, every night I have this dream, I see this house that's also getting weaker every day. It's about to collapse. And so the Zen master, after listening to this lady's story, he went into his closet and he took out a key, a golden key, and he handed the lady a key. Okay, you take this key. The next time you see the house, I want you to open the door. Okay, so the lady takes the key and she goes home, and that night she goes to bed and goes to sleep, and she sees this broken down house again. The house is about to collapse and there are a lot of people inside it suffering. And she approached and she takes out the key. And before she put the key into the keyhole, she got curious, and so she looked inside the little keyhole to see what's inside. And in the house, she sees a bunch of people that she recognized. In fact, these were the people who used to hurt her, who used to offend her, who used to cause her harm. One maybe was a mother-in-law. a difficult coworker, a childhood classmate who used to bully her, even a three-legged dog who used to bite her every time she go home from school. And so upon seeing these people and creatures that have offended her, the girl would do the key, turns away, and she kind of smiles at herself. Those people deserve to be locked up into this house. Okay, so she walks away. She walks away and she wakes, you know, the next morning she wakes up. And her life, her health continued to decline. She didn't get any better. And at some point, she went back to see the Zen master. And she told them the story again. But this time she told them that, yeah, in the house, I see all of these people who used to hurt me. My mother-in-law, my co-worker, the kid who bullied me on the playground at school, even the three-legged dog who bite me. And the Zen master say, well, did you use the key? And the girl say, no, I did not use the key. And the Zen master say, you don't really have much time left. That house is about to collapse. And so is your health. The only way for you to save yourself is to use that key to open the door and free those people. And so the lady say, okay, I will give it a try. So she goes home, and that night, guess what? She had the same dream again. Okay, she sees the house is about to collapse, and she looks inside, she sees all those people. But this time she finds the courage to put the key inside the house, and she unlocked and key inside the keyhole. She unlocked the door and let all the people out. Her mother-in-law, her co-worker, the kid who bullied her on a playground, even the three-legged dog. When all of those people have left the house, she walked into the house. Now it's about to collapse, and she sees a young woman, a frail, sick young woman. And as she approached the young woman, she realized that it's herself. She sees herself in this sick, frail woman in the middle of the house. And so she proceeded to help this sick, frail young woman out of her house. And at that point, she wakes up. And then the next day and the next day, her health starts to get better. And then one day, she's all healthy and good. She went and visit the Zen master, and she thanked the Zen master for giving her the key. And she wanted to get an explanation. Why is it that I was able to get better after releasing those people? And the Zen master says, simple. Every person who has harmed you, if you keep them inside yourself, you keep all that negativity, it's going to weigh on you. It's going to start to damage your body, your mind, including yourself. So any person who has any kind of resentment against other people or against themselves will eventually experience negativity, usually in terms of bad health and undesirable circumstances. All right, so let me ask you guys, where in this progression, okay, we can get a chance to share, where in this progression of forgiveness, mercy, tolerance, or magnanimity do you think you are right now with respect to whoever or everybody within in your life? Do you find yourself to be a person who has to forgive? Do you find it to be easy to forgive because you are merciful? Do you find it to be are you a tolerant person, or you a magnanimous person who don't seem to take in anybody's fault? Does anybody want to say something and share? Haven't heard from you today, Jenny. How are you?
All right, Mrs. What your question?
Where are you in this progression? Are you a forgiving person? Do you find yourself having to forgive people? The need to forgive? Do you find yourself to be a merciful person? You find yourself to be very tolerant, or are you a magnanimous person with respect to other people, where you don't really take in any of their fault? So we're sharing to see where we are on this progression.
Well, since I understand about the human structure, I understand, you know, myself better, and the root cause of whatever root cause of life. And the principle of light. Yeah, I stopped looking for faults. I stopped looking at negative, things about anyone. I try to, I still have negative thinking about toward a few person in the church. Anytime I
Different
see,
people, right? Different people fall along, different level, right? We have,
it depends on their attitude, So, but for some reason, I get along better with, like with the lower class people. Higher class people, they tend to show off. They have like entitled mentality, and I hate that. Yeah. So yeah.
what level of awareness or wisdom are you speaking from?
A little bit of wisdom 1 and 2.
When you see
Because
other people as entitled and it makes you angry or things like that, that's not two.
that
Is-
one, right?
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
one.
with this with this teaching, we're inviting you to elevate your own awareness to level 2, so that we don't become attached to other people's, how they appear to us. Okay, the already always hearing, the already always seeing, how they appear to us is our awareness.
So now I will try to unattach the
Unattached, yeah, detached.
detach the previous picture that I have about that person before learning this philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the degree of how you say, hatred? No, not really hate.
Okay.
I don't hate that person, but I just don't like that person, But I mean, the more I understand, how the human being works, like we have that 18, I call that 18 moves. Yeah. Yeah. And, and that 84,000 bubbles of illusion. So the more I understand it and I remember that, then I look, always find a good positive thing about that person. When I meet somebody, I said, is there something about this person that I can learn from? But except one person. Except one person at the church. Oh my gosh. Okay. That, yeah, I still have a test. I can detect that negative picture, but I get better, better. So thank you, really appreciate, how you say, appreciate, honor, by, and whatever.
We'll learn about honoring gratitude next week.
Right. The philosophy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for that sharing. Okay, I'm still working on it myself with respect, particularly in myself. I've been the kind of person who is very hard on myself. Yeah, I tend to take it very hard on myself. I have a lot of expectation, a lot of desire and imagination and ideation about myself and how I should be and how I should not be and all that stuff. And it has not really helped to have that kind of heavy expectation. Oftentimes it leads to resentment and it makes my own energy level goes low. And as a result, I don't attract a lot of positivity into life until I learn to let go. Okay, I learned to let go a little bit, stop, drop it, cease, release it. I learned to, appreciate myself. I learned to be tolerant. I forgive myself for the stupid things that I've done. Okay. Jenny, did you want to say something?
Thank you. I want to share something about forgiveness. Actually, few years, I have one coworker. She looked like my sister, and we work together in a bookshop. But after that, I know she is not like the way she communicates with me. Behind me, she talk different about me. And in a bookshop, we have some like a check for my personality, for my how to say that about drama. I don't know why she talk and not talk everything is not good about me behind me. And even she messaged to my husband to say something that about bad things. And finally, I prove myself with everyone that I'm innocent about that. I'm a good person. But after that, I don't believe all people around me. And that night I can't sleep because I feel so shocked about her. And so after a few times, I decide to quit that job and want to find another job in good environment to work and develop myself. But I don't know to forgive her. One day I learned about I read the sentence that we forgive to others not because they deserve to forgive, but you deserve to be peaceful. And
Yeah, we're saving ourselves.
yeah, I
Yeah,
focus on myself.
Yeah, whether they deserve it or not, whether they ask for forgive, whether they apologize or not, we forgive them because we deserve to be happy.
Yeah, to
We
be happy.
deserve to be free from the burden of anger and resentment. As human beings, we deserve to be healthy and happy. And forgiveness is a necessary act of freeing ourselves from the negativity of resentment and blame so that we can ultimately be healthy and happy ourselves. Right? Did we just lose her? They had her internet just got disconnected or something. So I hope she can come back soon because I want to make a point. But you can notice that with forgiveness, with mercy, even with tolerance, okay, there are limits to tolerance, right? We'd say there's just limit to my tolerance. There's something if somebody keep on committing the same fault or the same offense we cannot tolerate anymore. With this tolerance, mercy, and forgiveness, there's limit. But with magnanimity, okay, when desire and ideation stops, when we are unattached, then there's really no limit. Okay, so Jenny, I was saying that with forgiveness, mercy, and tolerance, yeah, it's great that we can forgive other people. That's great that we can tolerate other people, be accepting and understanding, but there's still a limit. With repeat offense, repeat faults, at some point, we're going to say, no, that's enough is enough. I'm not going to tolerate that behavior. I'm not going to forgive anymore. There's limit. However, with magnanimity, when desire and ideation stop, drop, cease, release, when we are unattached or detached from our desire and ideation, then there is no problem to forgive. There's no fault to forgive. There is no limit to magnanimity. That's why it's called a great spirit. And think about this, okay? Let's take a step back and take a look at the picture. If we are a person who can, let's say, forgive forever, indefinitely, right? Because we're not attached. Let's say we're a person who is tolerant of other people. We are respectful of that person. We understand and we accept them. Then magnanimity actually points to something, a 4-letter word that we all know. What is this called? Unconditional love. Think about it. With everything else, forgiveness, mercy, tolerance, there's condition. I can only forgive you for a certain amount of time. I can only love you if you fall within limit. But with magnanimity, there is no boundary. You can love a person unconditionally when you are in a state of magnanimity. So magnanimity, or the state of being magnanimous or generous or greatness of spirit, it's actually unconditional love. And that is why I'm choosing to use the word magnanimity. I'm choosing to push, sort of elevate our awareness and perception in this sharing to the level of unconditional love. And it takes wisdom to love somebody unconditionally. Why? Because there's that statement in the part of tolerance. We guide them toward self-development. With tolerance, there's limit, but with magnanimity, there's no limit. And the purpose is to guide another person to develop themselves, to become a better person. Okay? When a parent is tolerant of the children, is merciful toward them, is forgiving of them, and they can do it without demanding that the children behave a certain way, then the children would see that as they're being loved unconditionally. All right? And if you can love unconditionally and you just repeat it all the time, everywhere, then it becomes eternal love. Okay, so unconditional love can become eternal love. The Vietnamese sharing, they use the word tình yêu vĩnh cửu. Tình yêu vĩnh cửu is eternal love. But before you can love eternally, you have to love unconditionally. Because anything else because love that is conditional is not really love. It's some kind of it's an exchange. Right? Conditional, whenever there's a condition, there's an economic transaction. You have to do something for me before I do something for you. As long as there's some kind of condition, then there's not really love. It's an economic transaction. Love has to be unconditional. And the way to do that is to become magnanimous. To become detached from the misbehavior of other people.
Is there like a mental exercise that we can practice this? I mean, easy to say than to do.
Stop, drop, release, cease.
Yeah, maybe just dry it
And
put it anywhere, like on the
yeah,
head
do
of
it.
the bed, mirror,
Do it.
in the car, whatever.
Yeah, write down the root cause of life begins with me. And post it everywhere. Okay. Yeah, root cause of life begins with me, and I don't blame anybody. Write down words of tolerance, mercy, forgiveness. Those are new mental images, what we hear, what we see. And start paying attention to what we say, especially that person that is dragging us down. Each of us has that person that we just can't tolerate. That one person. So think of that house. That person that we're still trapping in that house. We're refusing to let that person out. What we're doing is we're anchoring, we're weighing ourselves down. Our energy level is negative, and we're going to continue experiencing negativity, especially when it comes to that person. But if we can become unattached, okay, free that person so that you can free yourself. Right? Free that other person so that we can free ourselves. And free us, sometimes it's because we are hard on ourselves first that makes it hard on other people. Because really, if we love ourselves unconditionally, okay, if we respect ourselves, we understand ourselves, we tolerate ourselves, if we're generous with ourselves, we work on our wisdom, our attitude, our character, we allow ourselves to become a better person, then we won't allow ourselves to be pulled down, be weighed down by the weight of resentment and blame against other people. Okay. So essentially it is to save ourselves we to do that. But if we focus on ourselves too much, here's a problem. Okay. For people who goes through doing a lot of self-development courses, myself included, if we spend too much time on self-development, taking those, self-improvement and self-development course, even this teaching, if the focus is too much on the self, then the desire part become negative. Remember the positive and negative aspect of desire? The negative polarity of desire is wanting for yourself. The positive polarity of desire is wanting for other people. A person who is positive when it comes to desire is an altruistic person. A person who is desiring for themselves all the time is a selfish person. So even when we're doing self-improvement and always thinking about, oh, I'm doing this to improve myself, I'm doing this for myself, always for myself, what we're doing is we are going negative on the polarity scale of desire. And so it's going to be harder to actually improve ourselves because we are pushing ourselves down by thinking about ourselves. We're being selfish. And as we're thinking about ourselves, we're not creating positive value for other people. And so our grace, our good fortune is not being accumulated, our grace and merit. Right? So we have to be a little clever and wise when it comes to self-improvement, about learning the philosophy of root education. We're always focusing on improving ourselves. We're actually not focusing on other people. And when we're not focusing on other people in the energy aspect, the grace and merit, we're not accumulating any grace and merit. We're not raising our energy level because we are dragging ourselves down by being selfish, self-centered, self-focused, selfish, and we are going negative. If we want our life to be better, we have to start thinking about other people. We have to help other people, raise their awareness, raise their wisdom and understanding raise, make them go positive. But to practice these 7 charitable gifts, okay, give of appearance, give of seeing, give of speech, give of our heart, our spirit, give of our body, which is kind words, kind action, give of our position, give them the fortune that we have. Does that make sense?
Right, but like you're talking about the tolerance, right? You said accept others, may do things that you do not agree with certain limit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So at work, especially, when you work with not a bunch, when you work in a group of, women, like female workers, yeah, it's just our nature to talk behind somebody else, back, gossip, some people really like to gossip. So, and then, I mean, yeah, for, like you see a group of men, they happy, they get along well. But when you see a group of women, yeah, they always compare and, try to be annoyed, something. But how do you deal with it instead of jumping jobs?
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't want to jump. First of all,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna
So
apply this. We're gonna
can you
apply this
share
philosophy.
your maybe experience insight, like how we deal with workplace conflicts though? We just can't jump from job to jobs,
Oh, you can't. Okay,
Yeah.
jumping from job to job is like trying to fix the fruit. Okay, we're operating on causality. We have to plant positive seed, cultivate positive affinity in order to get good result. If we're jumping job, then we're just gonna try to, that's not gonna fix the problem from the root. All right, you're gonna encounter exactly the same thing in a new job. Why? Because of this principle right here.
Because you still yourself, you still
Yeah.
you're still the same person.
Remember
You
this
carry the
sharing? Remember this sharing?
energy level, right?
Yeah. We only experience the kind of things that is a vibrational energy frequency match for ourselves. Okay, so we're gonna slow down a little bit here. If we see other people as gossiping and drama, it is because we are a vibrational energy frequency match with gossip and drama. There is a seed of gossip and drama within us. That is an important point. Okay, you have to get that. Whatever it is that we can perceive, whether it's a physical matter or it is something that we can taste, we can feel, we can touch, or it becomes a part of our awareness. If negativity is part of our awareness, then negativity is the kind of energy frequency that we are vibrating at.
Can we borrow Jenny's story and how we're going to turn the negative situation to a positive instead of changing job? What should she have done? So let's share, like, okay, what do you think that Miss Jenny should do instead of go and find another job, stay at the same job, but do something, and I think you don't have to go around and roof and tell everybody that oh yeah, that person talking behind my back. You don't have to do that. I think you just be yourself. If you cây ngay không cái gì đó, không sợ chết đứng hay cái gì đó.
It's not like that. In the company, in the organization, the managers make the meeting to discuss to find out something mistake for me. So in front of people, I had to show and everyone find out my mistakes, but I didn't have any mistakes about wrong things. It's not I like to try everyone that I am innocent. It's not like that. In the meeting. But that's all. After a few years, I focus on myself and I learned that I'm grateful her and everyone. Even she doing bad to me. She did is like a best for me. But it's a lesson for me. I had to learn. And I'm thankful her because after many changing about job, I'm a good I can have a new job and find out myself more beautiful and I know my talent. And now I'm so happy about that. And that's why I say I grateful her.
But our master Tuan said, do not appreciate the person. You appreciate,
but I don't want to meet her again.
Right? Yeah, you learn from the situation, not the person, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. I couldn't remember. But do not appreciate the person that caused pain to you. Only appreciate the situation so you can learn from it.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
So
sister.
I'm Hương. Yes, I just joined. Thank you, Teacher Frank, to give me the link to join. So, because you are in between of the discussion, because I mentioned about do not thank the people who cause us, but only the lessons from the problem. However, if you attend, I don't know if you guys attend the section by Teacher Tuan yesterday, Master Tuan yesterday, about the understanding the people, the importance of people in our life. I think now the mindset change. We thank everyone we meet, even for those who come to cause the problem for us at that time. It
Really?
was yesterday section. Yeah, it was yesterday section.
He changed his talking now?
Because no.
In the old section, like in 20 something, 29, 26, 29, that's what he said, right? You appreciate
it was
You have to be clear. You have to be clear at this, okay?
Nothing is
You have to be clear. You don't appreciate the negativity. You don't appreciate and be grateful for the pain that people commit against you. You can appreciate the person for giving you the lesson. It is the lesson that has the value. Okay, so one way to free ourselves from resentment and blame is to appreciate and accept and understand the other person as a tool of learning. And you appreciate the lesson. Don't go and say, thank you so much for talking behind my back. I appreciate you for...
I understand.
I appreciate you for criticizing me. That's saying, I appreciate you for bringing the darkness out. No. That's not going with the principle of life. You don't go and I appreciate you for criticizing me and bringing and focusing on the darkness. That person is going to keep on doing that more. They're going to find all the things wrong with you. Right? What you appreciate, you're going to get more of it.
Right.
We do, however, appreciate that the person has brought us some lesson, and you draw the lesson from it. Okay, you draw the lesson from it.
Yeah,
that's how we grow. It is the lesson that will help us grow. It is not the suffering. Okay.
I think yesterday, what I learned from the section yesterday is quite special, is that we thank people because when they appear, they help us to understand the concept clearly, the concept and the image clearly in our mind. Even you haven't got the lesson yet, but when they appear, they help us to understand our mind, like what we want, the image and the concept. Maybe it comes later. It would come later. For example, if they do something like, oh, they are very difficult boss, they give you a lot of, you know, you don't want to, but they still give you a lot of negative feedback or something like that. At that time, maybe the lesson hasn't come, but they are still helping you in the process for you to understand what you want. Maybe you want a different job, you want a different, or you clearly you understand, oh, this is, what does it mean to me? And what is the difference between what you want and what I want? Something like that. So at the moment when they appear in your life, already they help you to get the concept and get the image. Already started that effect. Maybe later you get the lesson or the results later. That's also changed my own mindset, because at that time I understand clearly, because I also used to think that, oh, some people they are there, they cause us problem because of our life, right? We understand it's from us, it's not from them, but we don't thank them anyway, we just thank the lesson. But yesterday from the section of master, I think that we thank everyone who appear in our life in any way, because they help us to, you know, get the image, get the concept in the process to understand it clearly.
The result, you know, the experience that we have with another person or with a circumstance, whether it's desirable or undesirable, it is the outcome. Okay. If somebody if somebody say something or do something that is undesirable, we have to recognize that that is the outcome. Okay. It's important that we get that part. Okay. Whatever experience that we have in life with respect to another person or with a circumstance, it is the final outcome that we experience. And that outcome, that fruit, came as a result of some seed that we have planted in the past. I hope you guys, this is an important part that we get, and I need to review this this part with you. Okay, so sometimes we need to review. Okay, if we remember the garden of our subconscious, in the garden, different kind of seed. Okay, different kind of seed. And seed, a bunch of seed. This is our garden of subconscious. Okay, some of the seed is our seed of knowledge. Some of the seed is called affinity with people. And some of our seed have started to bear fruit. Okay. Every time we think about a person or an event, we plant a seed. Okay, this is human nature. This is part of our mind and our emotion. Every time we think about a person or an event, we plant a seed. And that seed takes on a positive or negative polarity. Or if neither positive or negative, they are balanced. Every time we think about that person, especially that person that we don't like, okay, let's this moment you can think about, okay, every time I think about that person, every time I talk about that person, our hearing, our seeing, our speaking, and our knowing, it takes on a positive or negative polarity. If it is positive, then our experience with that person or event is desirable. If we plant the seed with negativity, and it eventually grow, it's going to be undesirable. If we think about somebody or something and we are balanced, we are neither positive or negative, then we are neither desirable nor undesirable. And this is our garden of subconscious. Our garden of subconscious has a gardener, okay? Our gardener is our friendly Mr. Will. Every time we think about a person in a positive way, we tell Mr. Will here to cultivate with positivity. After a while, that seed will sprout into a positive tree. It will bear positive fruit. If we think about a person or an event with negativity, we're telling our Will here, Mr. Will here, to go and cultivate that seed with negativity. And after a while, it'll grow up to be a negative tree, will bear negative fruit. It is a process called accumulation or cultivation. Okay, the process of accumulation or cultivation. Through our mind and our emotion, through our hearing, seeing, saying or speaking, and knowing. So we have a relationship with a person. In fact, we always have some relationship with another person, whether it's desirable or undesirable. When we think about that person and it's negative, and we're experiencing the fruit of negativity, then we understand that the causality is at work. If we are having a person at work who is speaking bad thing about us, then that is the fruit that we are reaping right now. It is because in the past, we had planted some negativity and we had told Mr. Will here to cultivate that seed. Now, if all you think about is this one lifetime, and it's too short, we can't explain why, I've never done anything to that person. I never say anything bad to that other person, right? But why is that person that's always treating me poorly? Then you are forced to accept the possibility that there are multiple lifetimes. That in the past, we may have treated the other person poorly. We may have spoke, say bad thing about the person back. And through our hearing, seeing, saying, and knowing in many lifetimes, that seed has now bore fruit that is undesirable. That is the person, saying bad thing about us. And the moment we realize that, the moment we can start taking ownership of our causality again. We can stop feeding it with negativity. With the magnanimity that we learned today, right? We can stop desire and ideation. Right? We can stop that desire and ideation, become unattached to it. In that instant moment, we release ourselves and that other person. Doesn't matter what they say. If we stop our desire and ideation about that person, then we become free from it. We don't need to forgive them if we're unattached. If we already let it come in and we're already hurt by it, then yeah, the sooner we forgive, the sooner we forgive, the better, right? Otherwise, we take in that cup, we drink that poison, and over time, it starts to hurt us. You see the power of forgiveness. The sooner you do it, the sooner you save yourself. Just like that girl, the girl in the story, the sooner that she can free the people from the broken house, the sooner she's gonna save herself. So you see the link between our subconscious, okay? We're bearing fruit, whether it's negative or positive, it is because of our past deed. If we see other people as offending us, then we have that seed in us. We may have committed similar acts in the past, and so it's gonna come back to us. Whether by grace or by misdeed, we're experiencing what we have planted. We're experiencing what we have planted ourselves. That's why this is a discussion on level 2 wisdom. Root cause of life begins with me. And as soon as we recognize that the root cause of life begins with me, as soon as we activated level 2 awareness, I don't need to blame other people. Sure, maybe in the past we have done something bad. We have talked about behind the back. We have criticized other people. And now it has bore fruit. It's okay. Whatever we did at that time was the best that we knew how to. Okay. Our choices at that time was compatible with who we are at that time. At that time, we may have done it because we think that was the best thing to do, but that's fine. We don't blame other people. And the moment that you realize that, okay, that is the outcome that I'm receiving and I'm at peace with it. And causality stopped right there. You plant new seed. You plant new seed. We tell Mr. Will here to cultivate with new energy, positive energy. We already have serenity. That's a balanced energy. We have the energy of magnanimity. Become unattached. If we need to, we can tolerate it for a while, but it's better to not bother with tolerance and mercy and forgiveness. Just become detached, and then there's no problem to solve. No need to forgive. Okay, and then over time, as we continue to, next week we learn about honoring gratitude, and we'll be complete. We have 3 powerful positive energy that we sort of spray over the entire garden. Instead of having to deal with each and every seed, each and every negative circumstances, each and every tree, that's kind of bothersome. We just spray serenity, magnanimity, and honoring gratitude over the entire field. All day long, if you got nothing better to do, just be at peace. If we're interacting with people, just be magnanimous. Forget what they, never mind whether what they say or do is harmful to us or not. Right? We can rotate. We now have wisdom. We have the ability to rotate and cycle 3 different levels of wisdom. At the moment that we see somebody does something wrong, level 1, that's level 1 awareness is just kicked in. But instead of letting it drag us down, raise our level to number 2. Root cause of life begins with me. I am detached. I'm not attached to the person's fault. I don't need to forgive them. And then raise it to wisdom. Oh, I create new positive image. Find something good about that person. Appreciate, using the principle of light, appreciate what it is that they've been doing that's good. There must be a million other things. Just find something else. You can shift your focus away from that problem. Just find something else. Maybe that person is a very hard worker. Maybe that person likes to help out. Maybe that person likes to, they come in on time and be very punctual. Find something else about another person to appreciate and honor. And then that would happen is that over time, you cultivate your garden become balanced and positive. And so ultimately, eventually, when your energy, our energy is positive, we're going to start to attract desirable circumstances in life. All with hearing, seeing, saying, and knowing mental images of positivity. You get that?
Yes. Can we save it for next week?
Okay, we can save it for
We
next week.
went over
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I appreciate you guys
much.
for taking the time. I hope that you've learned something. I hope that anybody experienced any realization today? You see feeling any shifting awareness? Anything that you can apply immediately? Yeah? No?
Yeah, just my favorite is the principle of light. So anywhere I go, just look for light.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. That's why it's the first principle we learn. Okay, it's the first
Yep,
principle
just
we
look
learn.
for light.
And if
Positive.
you are, if you're a Christian, that's that. Unconditional love. And Jesus talked about that in the Bible. We just don't understand it. We just never understand. We never shed light. We will never use the principle of light. We never shed light on it. We never applied wisdom level 1, 2, 3 to the Bible. So we never truly understand what Jesus talked about. Okay. But yeah, don't forgive people 70 times, 7 times. That means you've hurted yourself 7 times, 77 times. That's 490 times. Ooh, that's no good. Don't forgive. Be magnanimous. Then you don't have to forgive. You just love everybody all the time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye. Good night.
All righty. Good night. Jilam, did you want to say anything before we say bye-bye?
I have to
Yes,
go.
we love everyone, but without don't hurt ourselves, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Love
you-
ourselves.
You love yourself.
Of
Yeah.
course, love
Don't hurt,
ourselves.
but let's
Yes,
say love
love
ourselves.
everyone.
I just want to share something I just read this morning. Kali Gibran, a poem by Kali Gibran. He said that God told us love your enemy, so I start love myself.
Say again. Something about
The poem I may share later, but it is about like just 3 or 4 sentences. He said that God says that love your enemy. So I started love myself.
Oh, love your enemy. So I started to love myself. Oh, that's harsh. That person is a lot of suffering, huh? Yeah. Well, another way of saying that is well, that has to do with yourself, but another way of saying the best way to destroy your enemy is to make them your friend. The best way to destroy your enemy is to make them your friend. If they're the friend, they're no more your enemy, no longer your enemy. But yeah, if a person who has to love themselves first in order to destroy the enemy, ooh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So the first you have to know, you have to how to love yourself first, and then you can love everyone.
Right. But also remember, don't just focus on yourself. If you love yourself and only yourself, you become selfish. That is the negative aspect of the desire. Right? the best way to love yourself is to help other people.
You need to balance.
Yeah, the best way to help yourself is to help other people become positive so that we ourselves can experience more positivity ourselves. If we love ourselves by being selfish and accumulating for ourselves and nothing but ourselves, we're actually gonna go negative. We use up our grace, we use up our blessings, we use up all our merit, and then our life is gonna go negative if we love ourselves in that way, in an unwise way. Okay, the wise way, the ways of wisdom is to love ourselves by helping other people. Okay. Okay.
Appreciate your lesson
Yeah,
and
yeah.
thanking everyone sharing.
Okay, yeah. Thank you,
Yeah.
chị Lâm Hương, for
See you
joining us.
next week.
Bye, chị Lâm. Take care. Good night.
Bye
See you
everyone.
next week.
All right, I'll
Bye
post
bye.
this on YouTube in a couple of days. Okay. Bye bye.
Mm.